Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are country.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Tickets presents the Dodgers as they take on the Cincinnati Reds. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Reds concluding not only their three-game series, but also the final of the six originally scheduled. For the Dodgers, a bleak prospect because, having lost their first two, they're in danger of being swept at Dodger Stadium by the Reds for the first time since May of 2004. However, standing in the way of that would be Chad Billingsley, who's very, very effective, A, here at Dodger Stadium, and B, in the daylight. He'll go up against Travis Wood, who will be on the mound for the Reds. So it's the Dodgers and the Reds coming up. We'll have it all for you right after this.
Celebrate your birthday this year at San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino and receive a special birthday package. Visit sanmanuel.com for details. You must be 21 to enter the casino.
Sun's breaking through in downtown. Final of three, the Dodgers and the Reds, as Cincinnati looks to sweep the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium for the first time in 7 years. Time now for a Hyundai key to the game. It's the three faces of D. Gordon.
Well, how much fun has he been to watch? When he got here, we only knew he could run. Didn't know if he could hit at this level, but he is so far hitting .323 and scored 6 runs. That's what you want your leadoff hitter to do. Nice compact swing, doesn't try to do too much. We knew he could run. He's flying already. He's already stolen 3 bases. More to come. And then last year he made 37 errors, but he's worked hard on his defense. He's really shown some improvement and has made some unbelievable plays in his week in the big leagues.
Jim Watson and Steve Lyons in center field. You know, when Rafael Furcal went down, a lot of Dodger fans hung their head and said, oh, here we go again. And then this bright kid, D. Gordon, shows up. You see that excitement at the top of the lineup and maybe gets some heart going in this offense?
That's an adjective, too. I know it is. You know what? I mean, he has been a breath of fresh air. I mean, there's some obvious problems in this lineup right now. Left field and third base has been tough. No production out of those positions. But this is a guy that is worth to come out to Dodger Stadium and watch him play. Just himself is worth the price of a ticket.
He's a lot of fun to watch. And all we can hope is that the rest of D. Gordon's career has been just exciting as the first 10 guys, because this guy looks to be a star.
Ticket is brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. By Shakey's, win a pizza party for 10. Go to Shakey's.com. By CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Reds concluding a 3-game series and concluding game number 6 for the year. For the Dodgers and Reds, here at Dodger Stadium, the Reds have won the first 2 games. Dodgers trying to dodge a bullet. The bullet would be being swept in a 3-game series at home by Cincinnati. The last time that happened, 2004. Of course, looking at the uniforms today, we're all looking backwards before we go forward. The Dodgers in their what was blue satin uniforms in the 40s, blue for the road. Here, of course, they wear them at home. On the home games at Ebbets Field, they were white satin. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds, with a dark blue top and a red bill of the cap, they're wearing the uniforms that were worn in the 40s. In fact, the uniform that they're using today dates back to 1944, the year that the wonderful left-hander by the name of Joe Nuxhall pitched. So brings back some memories for sure. The Reds and the Dodgers going forward while looking backward. Here's the Reds lineup. In center field, Chris Heisey. He moves over from left. The veteran Edgar Renteria at shortstop. Joey Votto at first base, and Brandon Phillips, the second baseman, hitting cleanup. Scott Rowland is right back in the lineup at third. Johnny Gomes in left field. Fred Lewis, pinch hitter, 2 for 2 in the series, and Fred is in the outfield. The catcher is Ryan Hannigan, and the pitcher, left-hander Travis Wood. On the mound for the Dodgers, Chad Billingsley. Billingsley, the 26-year-old right-hander, allowed 6 runs last time out in a game in Colorado. He is 5-2 in his career against the Reds, and he picked up the victory when the Dodgers were at Cincinnati, going 5 innings, hanging on to get the win on a game that wound up 9-6. So Chad Billingsley ready to work to Chris Heisey, right-hand hitter, outfielder, played left field the first 2 games, playing center today. Heisey holds up on a pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes. For Chris Heisey and for Chad Billingsley, first time they faced each other. So Heisey checks in at the plate. Billingsley turns on the rubber, comes back 1-0, and it's lifted to right field. Ethier moving to his left, has a bead on it, and makes the catch for the out. So 1 away on a fly ball to right. We'll check the Dodgers with the leather, and they shape up Thames, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield, Uribe and Gordon, Carroll and Loney, and the battery of Barajas and Billingsley. So 1 away in the first inning, and Edgar Renteria coming up. Gorgeous time of day, even though it was a little soupy in the morning. The gloom is being burned off, and it's 72 degrees as Edgar swings, doesn't get it, and the count 0-1. Renteria played Sunday in San Francisco, went 0 for 3, had a little 5-game hitting streak. Right-hand hitter batting .231, and Renteria has a look at a pitch that's a little low and off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. The boy from Barranquilla in Colombia. We heard about Edgar Renteria long before we ever saw him. The 1-1 pitch, he fouls it back to the screen, and the count 1-2. The Dodgers employed a wonderful waiter. His name was Hamburger, and he worked in the press level, and he was from Barranquilla. And I remember Hamburger saying, "Wait till you see this kid from my hometown. His name is Renteria." Well, the Marlins signed him in 1992, and he's had a tremendous career. He fouls the pitch off. In fact, when the Marlins signed Edgar, he was 15 years old. No one really knew how much of a ball player he was. His main sport in Barranquilla was soccer. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Billingsley, very deliberate, turns, delivers, and the fastball's a little low. Renteria came up with the Marlins. Then from 99 through 04, he was with the Cardinals. Then he bounced. Red Sox, Braves, Tigers, Giants, and now the Reds. 35 years old in August, and he takes off the plate. So Billingsley goes 3-2 to Edgar Renteria. Renteria has not given him any problems in the past. He's just 1 for 12. So Chad, both feet on the rubber, turns and comes back 3-2, and that's off the plate. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Edgar Renteria, and that will bring up Joey Votto.
First baseman, number 19, Joey Votto.
Votto had the big home run in game 1 of the series, had a big base hit to help win game 2, and Joey hitting .368 in the past against Chad Billingsley. Billingsley, by the way, has 2 pretty strong numbers to support him in today's game. How well he pitches at home and how well he pitches in the daylight. The first pitch is low to Votto, ball 1. At home, Chad's earned run average is less than 2, 1.7. And in the daylight, his earned run average is under 3, 2.9. So Billingsley working now on the left-hand hitting Joey Votto. Checks in at 332 and takes a strike. Joey, last year's MVP, ran second in the Rookie of the Year award the year before. So an established star, hitting 332, 9 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Billingsley from a stretch. Outfield about straight away. Ethier deep in right, and the ball goes foul off third, and the count stays 1-2. Votto, when he homered the other night, it was the 99th home run in his career. They've taken polls, and baseball executives figure he's the 4th best player in the league, behind Pujols, Tulowitzki, and the pitcher Felix Hernandez. 1-2 pitch is in the dirt on a check swing, and they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jerry Davis, the plate umpire, with Greg Gibson, Sam Holbrook, Todd Tishner working the lines. Tomorrow, an off day, and then the Dodgers will welcome the Houston Astros Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the American League will be here, and the American League will feature Detroit and then the Angels. The 2-2 pitch coming up, and it's low, ball 3. Since it is a throwback time, going back to 1944, at least for the moment, the Cardinals that year defeated Cincinnati. Cincinnati was 16 games behind the Cardinals. The Dodgers were 42 games behind the Cardinals in 1944. However, the Dodgers had a great hitter, a hitter who won the batting title in '44, later became a coach with the club, Fred Dixie Walker. He hit 357. The great Stan Musial hit 347. And then in the World Series during the war, the Cardinals beat the Browns in 6 games. Way back when Joe Nuxhall at 15 pitched in the major leagues briefly. Runner goes, Votto misses at the plate. The throw down is waiting for Renteria, and just like that, the first inning is done. Nice throw by Rod Barajas, and Renteria never had a chance. And at the end of half an inning, Reds nothing, Dodgers coming up. Doubled up as Renteria hung out to dry. 15 pitches for Chad Billingsley. Now we can take a look at the Dodger lineup. Dee Gordon opens up at short, Jamie Carroll at second, and then you have Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp. Juan Uribe still at third, Casey Blake not 100%. Marcus Thames gets a chance to start in left field. James Loney drops down to the number 7 slot. Rod Barajas the catcher, and Chad Billingsley the pitcher. On the mound for the Cincinnati Reds is Travis Wood. A couple of notes about him. He's a left-hander who basically gives up a lot of fly balls, which is almost a euphemism for saying he gives up a lot of home runs. He's given up 10 home runs to right-hand batters. He does get to 0-2 counts a lot, but he's given up a dozen hits on an 0-2 count. But as a fly ball pitcher, we'll see how he fares now. And D. Gordon, full swing ground ball, backhanded, bobbled, and dropped by Renteria, all because he's been watching Gordon play in the first 2 games. Edgar knew he had to hurry, and he couldn't do it. So Gordon is safely aboard. We can take a look at the Reds now on that play. Ground ball, just a backhanded effort, only Renteria was in such a hurry to get the throw off. He dropped it, and it will go as a base hit for D. Gordon. So he is that fast so that even if you make a pure play without a bobble, without a drop, pretty hard to get him. Now they have to worry about him on the base paths, although Wood set at the belt, left-hander ready, looks over at him, throws to first, Gordon commits, and he's going to be erased. So Joey Votto got it down to Renteria, and C.D. Gordon immediately got on because of his speed, and then he is cut down. The 1-3-6. And we have one out here in the first inning. So Jamie Carroll at the plate, hadn't seen a pitch yet. Travis Wood ready, left-hander delivers, fastball strike, and the count 0-1. Travis is certainly not on the big side as he works on Jamie Carroll. Jamie hitting .315. 8 runs batted in. He and Aaron Miles have done a great job. The strike one pitch, and that's a little low and away, 1-1. They talk about a supporting cast in the movies or in the theater, and certainly Jamie Carroll and Aaron Miles have done a great job in supporting cast roles. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Jamie has a look and pays a strike. Travis Wood is 5'11", maybe 170 pounds. Out of Little Rock, Arkansas, lives in Alexander, Arkansas, and the Reds drafted him in the 2nd round out of high school 7 years ago. The left-hander ready, and the 1-2 pitch to Jamie Carroll way inside, ball 2, 2-2. When you first look at Travis Wood, you get the idea that even though physically he doesn't resemble him, he looks a lot like Cliff Lee the way he delivers, and it's not an accident. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Change, a little flare, and going out on the grass is Brandon Phillips, so that takes care of Carroll. 2 out. The reason it is not an accident that he indeed does remind you of Cliff Lee. Number one, he lives about 2 minutes from Cliff Lee in Arkansas. They do charity work together, and he began working out with Cliff religiously after Cliff won the Cy Young Award in 2008. And one other thing, they have the same agent. So with 2 out, here's Andre Ethier. Wood looks down the barrel to get a sign. Now Travis ready, and the fastball fouled away, 0-1. It's been an uphill battle for Andre Ethier. He's doing very well, hitting .349 against right-handers, but against left-handers, hitting just .229, so that's brought his overall average down to .314. He's still 8th in the league. So Andre waiting, 0-1 the count. Wood looks in to get a sign from Hannigan, who's on the outside corner, and a breaking ball is promptly slapped into the gap in left center, and that'll go to the wall. And Ethier goes into second base with a stand-up double. So Ethier just got a breaking ball down and away and went with it, didn't try to pull it, hit it to the gap for a double, and that will bring up Matt Kemp with Juan Uribe behind him. So Ethier collects the extra base hit. Now Kemp tries to collect him. Matt Kemp 1 for 2 against Travis Wood, and it's a home run. So Matt hitting .332, 20 home runs, 56 runs batted in. And for Matt Kemp against left-handers, he's hitting .364. And Baker, who was burned so badly by Matt Kemp in Cincinnati, when Dusty allowed a pitcher to pitch to Kemp with a 5-run lead and the bases loaded. And Matt hit the grand slam home run, and the Dodgers went on to win. That home run was against Andrusak, whom we saw last night. So the intentional walk to Kemp certainly figures, and Juan Uribe will be coming up. For Matt Kemp, by the way, and looking at the intentional walks, they have it listed at 9, but there are a lot more than those where they just pitched around him. So 2 on, 2 out, first inning, no score, and Juan Uribe coming up. Uribe checking in against Wood, 1 for 2. Travis Wood basically not a hard throwing fastball. It's been clocked maybe as high as 92 as he faces Uribe. He has a great changeup. He got Jamie Carroll on the change. He has a curve for show and a good cutter. So the left-hander ready. Here he comes and runs the cutter just inside. Ball 1, 1-0. The most talked about pitch in baseball today, the cutter. I remember years and years ago, the most talked about pitch was the slider. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Back comes Wood away, and a 2-0 count. Big thing about Travis Wood, they wonder, is he physically strong enough to pitch a lot of games? As we said, 5'11" and about 170, but he won't be 170 long in Cincinnati. The next pitch is down and away. So after walking Kemp, he comes right back and goes 3-0 to Juan Uribe, and Marcus Thames waiting on deck. No score, first inning. Left-hander looks down the barrel to get a sign. Hannigan trying to set a target for him. And the 3-0 pitch to Juan Uribe swung on and fouled away off to the right, out of play. Uribe with 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and Don Mattingly, a former solid hitter, knows what it's like, so he green-lighted him. Uribe coming back off the DL. He returned the 6th of June. The next pitch is a little high, ball 4. So the Dodgers so far have a single, a double, and 2 walks, but they haven't scored yet. And Marcus Thames coming up. Ryan Hannigan out to talk to Travis Wood for the moment as Marcus checks in. Thames, he came off the DL the 6th of June. He missed 30 games. He had a quad strain in the right leg. As far as grand slams are concerned, he has a bunch. He has a half a dozen. So Marcus waiting at the plate, hitting 163 with 2 out, bases loaded, and Thames fouls it back, and the count 0-1. With a half a dozen grand slams, most recently Thames had a grand slam 2008 against the Chicago White Sox. 0-1 the count. Marcus waiting. Travis Wood being very deliberate now with the bases loaded, 2 out. Travis on and off the rubber. Thames on and out of the box. Now they hook up, and the strike 1 pitch on the way. The left-hander deals, and that one is a little low. 1-1. Let's take a look at important numbers for Travis Wood. He came into the game with a strikeout to walk ratio of 2-1. 57 strikeouts, 28 walks. 1-1 the count to Thames. Bases loaded, first inning, no score. Travis Wood set, ready, here he comes, and he's low again. Ball 2. It is no accident that pitchers, visiting pitchers, have troubles in the first inning or 2 because they're not quite accustomed to the mound. However, for Travis Wood, his earned run average in the first 3 innings of games this year, it's 6. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's high, ball 3. So he's going to walk the house here. He gave up the single to Gordon, who was thrown out trying to steal. Got Carroll to pop up. Ethier doubled. He walked Kemp intentionally. Then he walked Uribe unintentionally. And he right on the edge with Thames, 3-1. Left-hander ready. Here he comes. Swung on and missed. 3-2. Another note about Travis Wood. His trouble started when D. Gordon got the base hit. Leadoff hitters are hitting better than 300 against him all year. So a big pitch, 3-2 to Marcus Thames. The left-hander ready, runners go, and it's ball 4. So he's walked in the run. So Thames credited with a run batted in. Uribe goes to second, Kemp goes to third, Ethier brings it home, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. Travis Wood fighting his control, and he's walked 3 in a row. Brian Price going out, the pitching coach, to try and counsel him a little bit. The age-old advice, get the ball over with something on it, which of course he's been trying to do. For Travis Wood, last year he was 5-4. This year he's 4-4, but he's not pitching as well. A lot of people are giving him a bad time. For instance, another point to make, Andre Ethier, as you know, has not been hitting left-handers, and yet Andre Ethier doubled to the gap in left center. Well, left-hand hitters are hitting better than .350 against Travis Wood, though it's certainly not going according to the book. And here's another left-hand hitter, James Loney, hitting .257. 4 home runs, 25 RBIs, and of course a grand slam in Colorado. So Kemp, Uribe, and Thames are out on the lines. Loney fouls the first pitch back, and the count 0-1. The debate will forever go on. 3 consecutive walks, and yet you go up and swing at the first pitch. But there isn't a hitter alive who doesn't agree that that's the time you figure the pitcher is going to take dead aim for a strike, and so that's the time you're ready to rip. 0-1 the count to Loney. Set is Wood. Travis delivers. That swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. James Loney is hitting only .164 against left-handers, so Travis Wood trying to put him away. The last time they met, Loney had 1 at bat and was 0 for 1. So Kemp, Uribe, and Thames all out there waiting. 0-2 the count to Loney with 2 strikes. Here comes Wood, very high over his head. 1-2. Dodgers lead 1-0. We're just starting. First inning. Kind of a lazy, hazy Wednesday afternoon. Travis Wood, left foot on the rubber, looks down, pitching out of a stretch. Left-hander ready, and the 1-2 pitch to James Loney is taken just off the plate. 2-2 the count. So the deuce is getting wilder. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3 on. And the Dodgers leading 1-0. So the Arkansas Traveler out there on the mound, ready to make his 28th pitch of the inning. The left-hander ready. Here he comes, and he's low. Ball 3. Every now and then the words go together. Wild, young left-hander, and he falls right into that category. And of course, much of the pain for Dusty Baker, who is celebrating his 62nd birthday today. All right, runners ready to go again. 3-2 to Loney with Rod Barajas on deck. A long look in by Wood. Left-hander set from a stretch. Runners go. Fastball fouled away. So he's making a lot of pitches here in the first inning, and the Dodgers trying to take advantage of it. Coming up will be his 30th pitch, and the Dodgers lead 1-0 here in the first inning. Loney backs out for the moment, gripping, re-gripping the bat. Travis Wood just waits for him. Left-hander pitching from a stretch at the advice of Brian Price. Now he's ready. And the 3-2 pitch again. Runners go, and it's swung on, hit in the air to right field. Coming over to catch it is Fred Lewis, and that's that. So the Dodgers have a single, a double, 3 walks, and squeeze out 1. And at the end of an inning, 1-0 Dodgers. The Dodgers leading 1-0, but almost much ado about nothing when you realize Gordon had a single but was thrown out trying to steal. With 1 out, Ethier doubled, 3 consecutive walks for a run, and then Loney a fly ball to strand 3. 30 pitches made by Travis Wood. Now the Dodgers will be facing Brandon Phillips, Scott Rowland, and Johnny Gomes in that order. Chad Billingsley leading 1-0. Phillips, right hand hitting second baseman, hits one to right field. That's going to land in front of Ethier. So Brandon leads off the second inning with a base hit to right field.
Third baseman, number 27,
Scott Rowland played last night, did not play in game 1. Rowland had 1 hit to drive in a run last night. Scott went 1 for 4. We were talking about it last night. When Scott Rowland comes to Dodger Stadium, he has to think about one of the turning points in his career. And it was not a happy moment in that hellacious collision with Hee-Seop Choi at first base in May of 2005. Rowland takes a strike, and the count 0-1. But a truly gifted player who's been playing in the big leagues nonstop since 1996. 0-1 the count. Billingsley works in the dirt. Nice save by Barajas. 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, in the first inning, remember Gordon hit the ground ball and Renteria backhanded it, dropped it, and couldn't make a play. They originally gave Gordon a base hit, which was charitable. Now they decided no, it'll be an error. So Gordon is 0 for 1, and then he was picked off. So here is Rowland, well put together, 6'4", 240, tremendous athlete, and the 1-1 pitch is fouled back. Big man in Indiana, lives or did live in Jasper, and we mentioned, of course, a great player. In fact, Milwaukee manager Ned Yost once said about Rowland, he is the perfect baseball player. His tenacity, preparation, fundamentally sound, puts the team first. No fanfare with Scott Rowland. He's something, the whole package. He promptly bangs one into the gap in right center. That's going to go to the wall. So by the time Kemp picks it up, here comes Phillips around third to score the tying run. Into second goes Scott Rowland, and we have a 1-1 tie with Rowland at second and nobody out. Scott Rowland was such a very, very good athlete. Not only a great baseball player, in basketball he was All-State. He was nominated for All-American. Bobby Knight was interested in getting him to play basketball at Indiana. He also played football in high school, and would you believe he played tennis for 3 years, and in his senior year his singles record in tennis 26-0. That's the package that is Scott Rowland. He's something. So 1-1. Here's Johnny Gomes now trying to pick up Rowland from second. The right-hand hitter takes way off the plate. Ball one. 1-0 the count. Dodgers and Reds locked in 1-1. Johnny Gomes, born in San Francisco, lives in Petaluma. Went to school at Santa Rosa Community College. Johnny takes a strike and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Believe it or not, Johnny, he's only 30. He'll be 31 in November, and got the scare of his life back in 2002. He had a heart attack. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and John lifts a long fly ball to center. Kemp goes back to make the catch. Rowland tags and moves to third. So Johnny Gomes, a long out to advance Rowland to third. And as John goes back in the dugout and get fives, Fred Lewis will be coming up. Fred Lewis appeared as a pinch hitter last night and single to left field. He appeared as a pinch hitter in the first game and was hit by the pitch. One of the standout departments for Cincinnati, they have a great bench. Dodger infield is halfway. Lewis, left-hand batter, and he takes low and inside, ball one. You may remember about Fred Lewis. He was with the Giants. 4 years ago, he became the first player in Major League history whose first home run was part of a cycle. And his second home run was a grand slam. He fouls that back. 1-1 the count. However, after that great way to start, he's had 23 home runs over 5 years since those first 2 home runs. Fred Lewis. Left-hand hitter, 1 out. Rolling down the line from third. Billingsley looks over. Chad to the plate. Foul back. With a runner at third, as we always do, we check. And Chad Billingsley has 2 wild pitches. So a little extra pressure on Rod Barajas. So Fred Lewis trying to pick up a runner from third in a tied up 1-1 game. We're only in the second inning. Out of a stretch goes Billingsley, and the 1-2 pitch off speed, line down the left field line, fair ball. So Lewis on his way into second. Scoring is Rowland, and Fred Lewis is 2 for 2 in his appearances in the series, plus being hit by a pitch. And now he picks up the double and a run batted in. So a very shaky start for Chad Billingsley. In the inning, he's given up a single and 2 doubles and given up the lead, which was indeed short-lived. 2-1 Cincinnati, second inning. The batter now, Ryan Hannigan, the catcher. Hannigan rested last night until late in the game. Ramon Hernandez caught. He caught the first game handling Bronson Arroyo, and Ryan was 0 for 4 in that game, hitting .258, 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Hannigan takes high, ball one, 1-0. Ryan backs out for the moment, looking down to Mark Berry. Mark, the third base coach for the Reds, somewhat of a local boy. He's from Oxnard. Coaching at first, Billy Hatcher. So 1 out, a runner at second, and the Reds lead 2-1. On deck, you have Travis Wood, who has 2 hits. One of the 2 hits a home run, and 3 runs batted in. 1-0 the count. Billingsley keeps looking back at Lewis, works the hitter low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. With Hannigan up there, the left side of the infield is reasonably deep, so the door is open, and it makes you wonder. Lewis out there at second base is 0 for 3 in trying to steal a base. 2 balls and no strikes. Back comes Billingsley, and he's low, ball 3. So if he walks Hannigan, you would expect that Woods would be up there to bunt, and then they would leave it up to Chris Heisey. 3-0 the count to Ryan Hannigan. Billingsley out of a stretch, very deliberate. 3-0 pitch on the way, very high, ball 4. So now first and second, 2 runs in, only 1 out, and we'll see what Wood does. We would expect him to bunt. He has 3 sacrifices. For Mattingly, a little anxious now with Billingsley struggling, and both Loney and Uribe kind of converging halfway to the mound. Uribe, of course, telling Billingsley how he would play the bunt. So Uribe well in on the grass. Loney is in on the grass. And here's Wood, left-hand pitcher, right-hand batter. Not showing bunt yet. Now he does. Billingsley delivers, and the bunt is missed. 0-1 the count. He had to wait on Jerry Davis, who then indicated with the right hand. No balls and 1 strike. Dodgers wasted a first inning, had 7 men come to the plate, had a single, a double, and 3 walks, and wound up with 1 run. And the Reds bounce right back with 2. The pitch to Wood. He gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Billingsley picks it up, throws just in time. Wow. Wood went flying down the line and almost had himself a bunt single. Boy, he can run. In fact, as Wood crossing first, he's going to say, "I'm safe," but Derek Dixon didn't go for it. Right there with the run. Now watch. Look at that. Arms outstretched, safe. First base umpire said no, but nice try. So second and third, and with first base open, Chris Heisey, who flied to right field in the first inning, coming up. Heisey, in the past against Billingsley, had not faced him. So Chris 0 for 1, hitting .282. He bunts, and it's foul. It wasn't a squeeze. Lewis wasn't really coming, but he was certainly on his toes, and the pitch fouled away. 0-1 to Chris Heisey. Reds 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Dodgers 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. Billingsley hides the ball back of his right hip. Now out of a stretch, and the strike 1 pitch on the way, and Heisey takes in at the knuckles, 1-1. One thing Billingsley does, I say he hides the ball behind his right hip, but he does more than that. So sometimes he overhides it so that the ball winds up being exposed behind the right hip. He holds it almost like a 2-seam fastball. Now Chad ready. And the 1-1 pitch is taken down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. So Billingsley having a lengthy second inning after Wood had a 30-pitch first inning. Runners at second and third. Lewis and Hannigan are out there with 2 out. And the 2-1 pitch to Chris Heisey. He hesitates, takes it off the plate. Ball 3. So now Billingsley must throw a strike or load him up. And Chad, who made 15 pitches in the first inning, has now made 22 pitches here in the second. So he's laboring. Chad out of a stretch, and the 3-1 pitch coming up. Fastball foul back. 3-2. I see 5 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Heisey making his 19th start of the year. Made a couple in left field and then playing center today. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and down he goes. So Heisey strikes out. The Reds wind up getting 2 and leaving 2, and at the end of an inning and a half, 2-1 Cincinnati. So they take a 2-1 lead. It was Scott Rowland setting the stage when he doubled in Phillips and then scored. So 2-1 Cincinnati, bottom of the second inning. It is a throwback day. Dodgers wearing the blue satin uniforms of the 40s, and the Reds using the Cincinnati uniforms of the 40s. Time to look back. In fact, the most recent music played, the Andrews Sisters and the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B, which was right in the war. In fact, all we had to do to look back was to look present. The national anthem was sung by Ralph Moriello, big right-hander who pitched for the Dodgers our first year out here in 1958. And Ralph with a great voice. So here at the bottom of the second, and here's Rod Barajas, and he takes high, ball 1. 1-0 to Rod. Hitting .226, 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, put a textbook block on Jay Bruce last night trying to score. The 1-0 pitch, and Rod takes a strike. 1-1 the count. For Barajas, hitting .296 against left-hand pitching. Hitting less than .200 against right-handers. And the 1-1 pitch coming up. Barajas way out in front of the change, and the count 1-2. We mentioned earlier in talking about Travis Wood, he's got a wonderful changeup, and Rod Barajas would take the witness stand and attest to that. The Wood looks in, getting a sign. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch on the way is swung on and lifted foul off to the right, out of play. And the count stays 1-2. That was another off-speed pitch. Travis Wood, signed as a pro in 2005, made it to the Reds last year. He was 5-4. He's 4-4 so far this year. 1-2 the count. Wood backs off the rubber. Barajas backs out of the box. So a standoff for the moment. Now Rod back up to the plate. Travis ready, left-hander delivers, and it's low and away. 2-2 the count. Barajas leading off the inning. Wood has had trouble with leadoff hitters, and Barajas, when leading off an inning, is hitting .313. So let's see what all those numbers mean. It's 2-1 Reds, second inning. Travis Wood delivers, and it's lifted back a shortstop. Roland now moves to his left and makes the catch in front of Renteria. So Barajas pops it up, one down, and Chad Billingsley coming up. So Billingsley, who surrendered the lead in the second inning, is checking in against Travis Wood. Chad battling Clayton Kershaw for honors as the best hitting pitcher on the squad, and a fastball taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. Billingsley hitting .280, Kershaw's hitting .290, and they'll be fighting each other right down the line. There's a ground ball base hit into right field. So that's a pretty good combination. Kershaw and Billingsley. Billingsley coming up after Kershaw had a base hit last night. So a 1-out single, the tying run is aboard, and the batter with 1 out will be D. Gordon. Gordon taking a long look at Tim Wallach before getting in the box. Billingsley, a very short lead at first, held on by Votto. Gordon, left-hand batter, about ready to hook up. Gordon hitting .360 against right-handers and about 150 against left-handers. The pitch to D taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. By the way, with that base hit to right field by Chad Billingsley, he's now batting .307. So in the race with Kershaw, at least for the moment, he has him by 17 points. Strike one pitch on the way. Fastball on the outside corner. So Gordon finds himself up there. No balls, 2 strikes. Reds lead the Dodgers 2-1, but we're only in the second inning. Dodgers are 11-7 against left-hand starters, 6-2 against them at home. Gordon slaps it foul late right into the dugout. It almost got Andre Ethier. Ethier was standing right by the bat rack, and that thing almost nailed him. So no place to hide, and it's still 0-2. 2-1 Reds, second inning. Travis Wood looks at first, comes to the plate, ground ball by the diving Roland into left field. So D. Gordon gets a base hit. So even though Roland, with a left-hand hitter, can move to his left, I think he was worrying about the possibility of a bunt, and he just reacted a little late on the ground ball. Say, a reminder, you know, Friday night fireworks presented by Pizza Hut. All fans invited onto the field after the game to enjoy the show. For tickets, call 866-DODGERS or visit Dodgers.com/promotions. So 1 out, the Dodgers have runners at first and second, and the batter is Jamie Carroll. Wood out of a stretch, and the left-hander delivers a strike, and the count 0-1. So he's been throwing strikes here in the second inning, as opposed to struggling with 3 walks in the first inning. Jamie, number 3 with hits on the squad, and he and Brandon Phillips are battling it out for most hits by a middle infielder. 0-1 the count to Jamie Carroll. The next pitch is high and away. When Phillips picked up his base hit, Brandon has 75 to Carroll 73. Jamie batting .313 overall. 2 on, 1 out, 2-1 Reds, second inning. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Jamie ground ball to the left, up with it to Renteria. The feed for 1. They double him at first, and the inning is over. So Jamie Carroll grounds into the double play. Renteria to Phillips to Votto. And at the end of 2, Reds 2, Dodgers 1. brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grilled Sandwich at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. We go to the third inning. The Reds lead the Dodgers 2-1. Edgar Renteria, Joey Votto, and then Brandon Phillips. So the numbers 2, 3, and 4 batters in the Cincinnati lineup. Dodgers have 4 hits and 3 walks for 1 run. The first pitch, Renteria shows bunt, takes it away. 1 ball and no strikes for the veteran shortstop. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Edgar takes a strike, and they count 1-1. Edgar Renteria offered to sign with the Marlins at 15, said no at first, and then his brother talked him into it. The 1-1 pitch, and Edgar fouls it away. His brother's selling point was it would be a chance to make life better for the family because his dad died when Edgar was just 1 year old. That left a family of 8, and they lived in a 3-room house. And as he says, we were poor. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Edgar. Swung on, lifted off first, heading towards the stands, and it will wind up there. For the Renteria family, talking about hard luck and poverty, first of all, the dad dying when he's only 1. His family consisted of 14 siblings, but 6 of the children died shortly after birth. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Edgar takes high. Edgar, along with his brothers and sisters, shared 4 beds in 1 room. So some of them make a lot of money, but when you dig back and find out where they come from, it's amazing. 2-2 pitch is slapped into right center. Kemps has to go over and cut it off on a hop. So Edgar Renteria, 35 years old, coming up in August, can still swing the bat, still play, and the batter now is Joey Votto. For Billingsley, 2 runs, 4 hits. Nobody out here. Votto struck out with Renteria going in the first inning, and that resulted into the double play. Joey hitting .331, 9 home runs, 43 runs batted in. And Votto was hitting just under .370 against Billingsley going into the game. And the first pitch in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Last game with the Reds this year. Wishing Dusty well on his 62nd birthday. Reds will go home after the game. They have tomorrow off, and they'll play Toronto Friday night. Strike 1 pitch is away. The Dodgers for the weekend will play the Houston Astros. Dodgers will send Ted Lilly against Brent Myers. Ruby De La Rosa Saturday night against Wandy Rodriguez, and then Hiroki Kuroda and Bud Norris. Pitch low and inside, 2-1 the count. The Dodgers against the Astros so far this year. Dodgers lost 2 out of 3 in Houston. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Joey Votto at the plate. Billingsley out of a stretch. Now the 2-1 pitch, and Votto takes a strike on the outside corner. 2-2. Joey Votto, with his 9 home runs, has struck out 53 times. Jay Bruce has struck out 61, and the young Drew Stubbs has struck out 92. 2-2 the count to Joey Votto. Billingsley very careful, looks at first, back to Votto, ground foul outside of first. Billy Hatcher picks it up and gets it back into the fans, and the count stays 2-2. Joey Votto leading the National League in walks coming into the game. He has 55. He's hit safely in 12 of the last 14. Throw to first. Renteria back on the bag. Renteria 3-0 as far as stolen bases are concerned. Then he was going and was nailed when Votto struck out in the first inning. 2-2 the count to Joey. Billingsley, very deliberate, comes to the plate, swung on, ground ball through into right field, base hit. Stopping at second is Renteria. So the Reds are after Billingsley again. They had a walk in the first inning. They had a single, 2 doubles, and a walk in the second inning for 2. And now they have first and second and nobody out. And Brandon Phillips coming up. So a shaky beginning for Chad Billingsley. 2 runs, 5 hits. Reds lead 2-1. Brandon Phillips single to right field in the second inning. Has usually worn the Dodgers out. His career hitting .363 against the Dodgers. He was 1 for 4 in the first game, 1 for 5 last night. Fouls it back. So Brandon only 2 for 9 in the series, and then singled in the second inning. Meeting halfway to the mound as Barajas out briefly to say something to Billingsley. Brandon Phillips, a solid fixture, and you are quite a ball player if you play in second base and you hit cleanup. That's where he is, hitting behind Votto. Phillips, who won a Gold Glove in 2008. Waiting at the plate, right-hand batter, bends at the waist and knees, and he lifts one to right field. Ethier goes back for the play, makes the catch. Renteria tags at second and goes to third. So Phillips makes the out, but he does advance a runner, and with 1 out, the batter is Scott Rowland. Chris Heisey came up with 2 out and a runner at third in the second inning and struck out. But now Rowland comes up first and third, 1 out. Rowland doubled down into the left field corner in the second inning. The amazing Scott Rowland, 8 Gold Gloves. Though when you talk about Rowland and 8 gloves, I mean, he's right behind Mike Schmidt, who had 10. Brooks Robinson had 16. So Rowland, big right-hand batter, and the first pitch off the plate, ball 1. 1-0. We mentioned it last night. It's really worthy to be mentioned again about the charitable side of Scott Rowland. Rowland has a Scott Rowland Foundation, but it's named after his dog. The 1-0 pitch, and that's hit down the line, foul, out of play. And the count 1-1. So the foundation is named after a golden retriever named Ennis Furley. And the whole idea is to make children smile, especially those children whose families have fallen on hard times. Then he decided, I'll tell you what, and he bought a 100-acre parcel of land. He built a recreation retreat. It comes with horses, cabins, miniature golf course, canoes, baseball, wiffle ball fields. And why? Well, as he said, we're not pretending to cure anything. We just want to make kids be kids. And he promptly bangs it into left field. A hard single to pick up the run. And the Reds lead 3-1. So nice things do happen to nice people. Scott Rowland is 2 for 2. He has 2 runs batted in. And he has scored a run. Billingsley is not fooling the Reds, that's for sure. 3 runs, 6 hits, and the batter now is Johnny Gomes, with Votto at second and Rowland at first. Billingsley trying to get an out with Gomes, who fly deep to center back in the second inning. Billingsley, a check of the runners, comes to his hitter, and that's in for a strike. And the count 0-1. Johnny Gomes, the pride of Petaluma, among other places, I'm sure. Johnny signed by the Devil Rays back in 2001. Strike one pitch is swung on, a flare to right. That's going to drop for a base hit, and they're going to hold the runner at third to load the bases. So Johnny Gomes, a flare single, broken bat. He'll take it any time. Roland goes to second. Votto goes to third, and the batter will be Fred Lewis. 3 runs and 7 hits so far. A meeting at the mound to see if they can figure out what's going on with Chad Billingsley. Last 19 innings now, he's given up 39 hits. Billingsley coming into this game, his earned run average was a little over 4. He had a break-even 5 and 5. His strikeout to walk ratio was 2-1. That's okay. However, more hits than innings pitched. So Billingsley up to his hips right now, and Fred Lewis trying to really make it a big inning. Lewis doubled in the second inning, and Fred coming up now with the bases loaded. Fred Lewis from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, went to Southern University. He was a teammate of Milwaukee's Ricky Weeks. Fred was originally signed by the Giants, stayed with the Giants when he came up in 2006, and last year went to the Blue Jays, and then this year wound up with the Reds, and he takes low, ball 1. Fred Lewis came into this game hitting .308 against Billingsley. The Fred waiting. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the pitch low and away, ball 2, 2-0. Not a ball thrown in the Dodger bullpen. Chad trying to fight his way out of it. I misread the line, and to correct, Fred Lewis against Billingsley, 4 for 13 coming in, and then he doubled. Fouled away. To bring him up to date, he is now 5 for 14. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count to Fred. He's 6'2", 200, 30 years old come December. Product of Southern University. Runners everywhere. Votto, Roland, and Gomes. The 2-1 pitch is taken a little high. Ball 3. Billingsley walked Renteria in the first inning, and he walked Hannigan in the second. The restless moments for Don Mattingly, Rick Honeycutt. 3-1 the count to Fred Lewis. Billingsley out of his stretch, and the pitch of the plate is taken low and inside, ball 4, and everybody moves up 90 feet. Second RBI for Lewis. Gomes goes to second, Roland goes to third, Votto brings in the run. So the Reds now lead 4-1 in the third inning, and the batter will be the number 8 hitter, the catcher Ryan Hannigan. No action yet in the Dodger bullpen, but the operative word is yet. I think in a minute or so somebody will be getting up. So Ryan Hannigan, bases still loaded, still only 1 out, 2 runs in. Reds lead 4-1, and the pitch to Hannigan is swung on and missed. Josh Lindblom gets up in the Dodger bullpen. So Hannigan, the catcher, who always handles Bronson Arroyo, up there now trying to help today's pitcher, and that would be Travis Wood. Hannigan, right-hand hitting catcher, chases one up around the shoulders, maybe thinking with 1 out trying to hit the ball in the air. Ryan, born in Washington, D.C., lives in Andover, Massachusetts. Went to Rollins College in Orlando. He is a 1-position player. He's been a catcher since Little League. 0-2 the count. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. Here he comes, and it's hit foul in the air off first base and out of play. Ryan Hanigan up there with the bases loaded. In case you wonder, he does have one grand slam. He hit it last year against Chicago. 0-2. This will be the 28th pitch for Chad Billingsley. Strike 2 pitch is off speed and high, a change that was up around the top of the head. 1-2. So for Billingsley, he is laboring now because he made 24 pitches in the previous inning. 1-2 the count to Ryan Hanigan. Rowland, Gomes, and Lewis all out on the lines. 1 out. 4-1 Cincinnati. Billingsley a high set and comes 1-2. Fastball, poke foul off first base out of play. Still 1-2. Well, that early morning June gloom has certainly been burned off. What was a soft day early this morning, as the Irish would say, has now just turned out to be a bloomin' nice day. And even the fans, some of them using fans, very warm in the sun. Beautiful summer's day. All right, 1-2 the count to Ryan Hanigan. Here comes Billingsley. Fastball down and away. He hit 94 on the gun, but he was out of the strike zone. He has now made 69 pitches, which means 30 pitches in this inning. And of course, Travis Wood made 30 pitches in the first inning for Cincinnati. So the pitchers are working very hard, and the Reds are leading 4-1. 2-2 the count to Ryan Hanigan with Wood on deck. Billingsley delivers. Breaking ball hit into the hole in left field, and 2 runs will score. A diving try by D. Wood, but he couldn't flag it. So Hanigan comes up with a base hit to left. His first hit. He drives in 2, scoring Rowland and Gomes. And so Billingsley now really in trouble. He's down 6-1. Still only has 1 out. There are runners at first and second. And here is Wood, who sacrificed in the second inning. Probably try to sacrifice again. Dusty going for a big birthday present today. Wood around the bunt, takes way off the plate. Ball 1. For Chad Billingsley, slowly this ball game is slip sliding away. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Reds. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers, and we've really just started. 1 ball and no strikes. Wood is the 8th batter to come up in the inning, with Lewis and Hanigan out on the bases. Billingsley from a stretch. Wood swings and pops it up. Fighting the glare in foul ground is Loney. The infield fly rule is called. The only question was because of the brightness of the sun. Remember, that rule always says about how easy it is to make the out. So Wood is told the bunt's off, swing away, which certainly seemed like a wasted at bat. At the same time, Dusty's leading by 5. So now he is the leadoff man, Heisey. Heisey flied to right, struck out with runners at second and third in the second inning. And now he's up there first and second with 2 out. And Barajas going out to talk to Billingsley. A troubled Dodger ball club because the Reds have scored 4 times in the inning and lead 6-1. And for the Dodger offense, who hot and cold, it's going to have to be very hot today to score at least 7. So Heisey waiting. Billingsley, after talking to Barajas, takes a long look in. Now he's ready. Chad delivers, and the fastball is strike, 0-1. Once in a blue moon, you'll see it. The catcher will go out to the mound. He'll talk to the pitcher. Then the catcher will go behind the plate, and the pitcher will look in and shake him off. But it could very well be just part to drive the hitter a little goofy. 0-1 the count. Billingsley comes back, and Heisey swings and misses. They're pitching him up and in, and the big outfielder, he is 6-footer, 200, and they're working him right in on the knuckles. He's from Amish country in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, lives in Mechanicsburg, and went to Messiah College. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Lewis at second, Hannigan at first. 4 runs in. Heisey takes strike 3 call. So Chris Heisey strikes out, which is perhaps one reason why they let Travis Wood swing away instead of bunt. 4-run inning, and at the end of 2 1/2, 6-1 Reds. It's 60 pitches in the last 2 innings, 24 in the second, 36 pitches in the third, and it is 6-1 Red. The Dodgers trying to get out from under the rubble, and they'll have Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe. There are a lot of differences between the Dodgers and the Reds, but one of them that really jumps out at you is in this series, the hitting with runners in scoring position. They are as different as you possibly can be. The first pitch to Ethier promptly hits him on the numbers. Remember, he doubled in the first inning. So Andre hit and will go to first base, and that'll bring up Matt Kemp. Cincinnati with runners in scoring position. The Reds are hitting .407 with 13 runs batted in. The Dodgers with runners in scoring position are hitting .143 with 4 runs batted in. So you can understand at a glance why the Reds have not only won the first 2, but why they're leading handily 6-1 here in the third inning today. So here's Matt Kemp, 13 home runs, 30 RBIs in just about the last month for a total of 20. He takes a strike in the count 0-1. We were talking about it last night when Matt Kemp first broke in back in 2006. He hit 7 home runs in his first 18 games. He had a stretch this year. He hit 7 home runs in 13 games. Matt pulls away a pitch inside. That evens it up 1-1. They walked Kemp intentionally in the first inning. And then Wood went wild and walked Uribe and Thames, and the Dodgers scored a run. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Wood set, looks at first, back, and just misses outside. 2-1 the count with a straight changeup. Juan Uribe on deck. He's throwing that change in the 70s. Ethier at first, nobody out here in the third. 6-1 Cincinnati. Travis Wood looks over at Andre, now back to the plate. Big swing and a miss from Matt Kemp. 2-2 the count. Travis Wood leading 6-1, 6 runs, 8 hits for the Reds, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. We're only in the 3rd inning. The Dodgers and Reds since 2009, with Cincinnati winning their first 2 games of the series. Over that period of 20 games, the Dodgers have won 11 and the Reds 9. 2-2 pitch, fouled away. Though still 2-2 the count. Travis Wood, 5'11", 170. A very good changeup. He has a cutter, that fastball to right-hand batters. And he's got a good one up there at the plate in Matt Kemp. 2-2 pitch. Wood ready. Here he comes. Works the fastball way inside at the kneecaps. He hit 90 on the gun. That's about as hard as he can throw. They say once in a blue moon he's been clocked at 92. His curveball, they say, is not much. But fastball, cutter, slider, change. Now the 3-2 pitch, foul back to the screen. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Last year, right-handers hit 240 against Travis Wood. They had 7 home runs against him. Travis made 45 pitches in the first 2 innings. So he's got that up to 53. And the 3-2 pitch, Ethier's not going, and Kemp strikes out swinging. So down goes Matt with 1 away. Say, don't forget, you know, Tuesday night, the Dodgers and the Detroit Tigers at 7:10. You'll receive your very own Dodger beach towel presented by Time Warner Cable. And for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. So Matt Kemp bites the dust for the 64th time this year. And the batter is Uribe, who walked in the first inning. Wood set, ready, and deals. And the first pitch inside, ball 1. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Reds, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Final game of the year between the 2 teams. 1 ball and no strikes. Left-hander Wood looks over at Ethier, double checks him. Now to the plate, Uribe backs off. It's inside. 2-0 the count to Juan, who has grounded into 7 double plays so far this year. 2 balls and no strikes. Wood again, very deliberate, comes back to the right-hand hitter who fouls it away off first, and the count 2-1. Uribe hitting .222 with 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Dodgers got a run in the first inning, but the Reds came back with 2 in the second and 4 in the third. The pitch to Uribe at his shoe tops. 3-1 the count. Travis Wood, 4 wins, 4 losses. Dodgers beat him in Cincinnati. And his 3-1 pitch, Ethier holding his ground, and ball 4. So Wood is certainly no lock on the game. Anything but. He walked 3 in the first inning, though he's now walked 4 plus hitting a batter. And the batter will be Marcus Thames. A couple of years ago, it was 2008 to be exact, during a 10-game stretch with Detroit. Thames had 8 hits. That's no big deal, except that all 8 hits were home runs. He homered in 5 straight games, matching a Tiger record that was shared by the big Indian, Rudy York and Hank Greenberg. This time, he lifts a fly ball to right field. Fred Lewis is there, comes to make the catch, and then make sure he gets the ball back to the infield. So Thames fly ball to right, 2 down, and James Loney coming up. Let's get back to Thames for a minute. Homering in 5 straight, tied the record shared by Rudy York, Hank Greenberg, Vic Wertz, and Willie Horton. Names that are very big, certainly York and Greenberg in overall baseball history, and certainly in Tiger history. So Marcus has had 115, comes up shy with the fly ball. And the batter now, James Loney. He came up shy with the bases loaded in the first inning on a fly ball to right field. So 2 on, 2 out. Third inning, 6-1 Reds. Loney fouls it back, and the count 0-1. Loney in and out of the box. James hitting .256. Struggling, hitting just .161 against left-handers. 4 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Wood at the belt. Travis ready in the strike 1 pitch. Loney takes off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Travis Wood and Chad Billingsley. Final game of the 3-game series. Dodgers await the arrival of the Astros starting Friday night. Ethier at second, Uribe at first. Travis Wood said, here he comes, swung on, fouled away off third, and the count 1-2. Dodgers begin the game. Their dismal numbers. They are 7 games under 500. More importantly, they trail San Francisco by 8. Well, 8 is certainly oucho when the Dodgers find themselves that far behind their rivals, the Giants. 1-2 the count to James Loney. Travis ready, here he comes, just off the corner. Pretty good fastball. 2-2 the count. Throwback Wednesday. The Dodgers wearing their 1940s blue satin uniform, or a reasonable facsimile thereof, and the Reds wearing their 40 uniform. The 2-2 pitch swung on, hit to left, down the line, racing over, a diving backhand try, and let's see, did he catch it or not? Yes, he did. Johnny Gomes disappearing from our view once he crossed the foul line, and he makes a tremendous catch to take away a possible extra base hit from Loney. And we can take another look on the replay. Gomes made the catch in fair ground and skidded all the way to the wall. So if that ball gets by him, 2 runs for sure. No runs, no hits, 2 left, and at the end of 3, 6-1 Reds. Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Chase. Deposit checks from your smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. And by your local Mazda dealer. The Reds lead the Dodgers 6-1 as we go to the fourth inning. The pitchers have made a lot of pitches, and the plate umpire, Jerry Davis, had to leave the field for a minute, I think, to get some water. Each pitcher has made 65 pitches, so in 3 innings, we've seen 130 pitches, not to mention foul balls, and we've seen the Reds 6 runs, 8 hits, Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits. And Renteria to Gordon, who has plenty of time to throw out the veteran. 1 away. And that'll bring up Joey Votto. So Renteria walks back 1 for 2 with a walk. Joey Votto struck out, single to right, scored a run. What has been maddening for Chad Billingsley, I'm sure, and being a knowledgeable veteran pitcher, he could probably write a book about it. The Reds have 8 hits, and the Reds so far have had their hits when Billingsley was actually ahead or even in the count. Now, when you're ahead or even, you figure you might dominate, but it's not been that way at all. He's been 1-2 to 3 hitters, 0-1 to another, and yet they come up with base hits. Now he's behind Votto, 3-0. Of course, with Joey's power, 9 home runs on a warm day, you'd figure they might greenlight him almost every time, 3-0. And ball 4. So Billingsley didn't want any part of him. He walks Votto. That's another thing we've had. We've had 7 walks and a hit batter, and we're only starting the 4th inning. So here is Phillips. Brandon Phillips, single to right, fly to right, so he hadn't tried to pull Billingsley at all. Dodgers had a chance. It sounds like a trick question in the 1st inning. The Dodgers had a single, a double, 3 walks, and managed 1 run. Strike. Oh, 1 to Brandon. His baseball hero growing up was a good one. Barry Larkin of the Reds. 1-1. He's also, I understand, a very good bowler. How about when I say very good? As an amateur, he's very good. He's had 3 perfect games. I mean, you bowl 300, you're really special. And he's done that 3 times. 1-1 to count to Brandon. Fastball hit to the right side. They will get the force, and Gordon returns it safe at first. So the force play keeps the inning alive, and with 2 outs, Scott Rowland will be coming up. That's the 3rd time that Brandon Phillips has tried to go the other way. So with a force play, Phillips at first, and Scott Rowland checking in. Phillips, when he hit that ball on the ground, most of us thought that's a cinch double play, because coming into the game, Phillips had grounded into 11 double plays. Good effort by Votto to tie up D. Gordon a little bit. Rowland 2 for 2, double and a single, and fouls it away. Rowland coming into the game was 5 for 12. So now he is 7 for 14, meaning he's batting .500 against Chad Billingsley. Rowland has 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in. And pulls one down the left field line, and it looks like another double. Over to get the ball is Thames. They're going to wave Phillips in. The relay to Gordon, but no chance to throw. So Rowland has 2 doubles and a single. He's hitting better than .500 against Billingsley. In fact, you could say he is wearing him out. So it is 7-1 Reds, and Rolen has knocked in 3 of them. No doubt about a double down into the corner. So by the time Marcus Thames got it back in, Scott Rolen has done it again. Of course, as we said, Rolen, a marvelous player. One year, he had 124 runs batted in. So it's not like, to use a baseball player's expression, it's not like some Humpty is up there wearing him out. He's being hit by a very good player. The pitch low and away to Johnny Gomes. Gomes fly deep to center and single to right. 7 runs, 9 hits for the Reds. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. That's a strike. Dodgers will get somebody up in the bullpen now. Billingsley is due to bat second when the Dodgers hit in the 4th, and Blake Hawksworth will get up. He made 11 pitches in relief last night. 1-1. Ground ball hard, backhanded by Uribe. The throw in time. However, Rolen doubles in 1. And at the end of 3.5 innings, Reds 7, Dodgers 1. For only $5, get one of our 5 tasty combos. They're the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they're gone. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Time Warner Cable. The Reds lead the Dodgers 7-1. Scott Rolen having a big day. The veteran, 2 doubles and a single, has knocked in 3, scored twice. And by the way, we had just pointed out to you the fact that the Reds' 8 hits have come where Billingsley is either ahead of the count or even. Well, Rolen's double to drive in the run. The count was no balls and 1 strike. So here's Barajas, who popped it up in the 2nd inning. And ball 1. Billingsley has made 88 pitches. One and 0. Foul back. 1-1. To repeat, the Astros will be here starting Friday night, fireworks night. The pitching, Ted Lilly, Friday night against Brett Myers. Saturday night, young Ruby De La Rosa, 3-0 against Wandy Rodriguez. And then on Sunday, Hiroki Kuroda and Bud Norris. All 3 games will be on Prime Ticket. 7-1 in favor of the Reds, bottom of the 4th inning. The Dodgers with 3 hits. A double by Ethier, a single by Billingsley, and a single by Gordon. 1-2. 2-2. Travis Wood out of Arkansas. 2 balls, 2 strikes in the dirt. Travis drafted out of high school, Bryant High School in Arkansas, 2nd round pick. Casey Blake now comes out on deck, so Chad Billingsley has certainly had enough. 7 runs, 9 hits in 4 innings. Foul back. So for Billingsley, a discouraging day. He made 88 pitches and struggled from the get-go. He gave up a long fly ball to right, then walked a batter, got out of the 1st inning, and then gave up 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, and for good measure 1 more in the 4th. High fly ball, a trio, and he won at 3. The center fielder and the shortstop Renteria. Oh, that's a bad play. Center fielder had plenty of time, and it was the veteran shortstop who just kept going out, Edgar Renteria. Well, the coast was really clear for Chris Heisey, and it was Renteria going too far out. Of course, that's what makes him such a good player. He wasn't going to quit, but there's Heisey right there. And we'll have to wait and see how they rule it. Yeah, that should have been caught, and Renteria will draw the error, and he should. So Barajas safely aboard. Casey Blake 0-1 to count. So Casey still plagued with a sore neck, although he doesn't make excuses. He said, it doesn't bother me hitting or running, but making that third baseman's play on the off-speed pitch, charging, and the off-balance throw, that kills him. Casey from Iowa, and I'm sure he has a lot of things on his mind besides playing baseball. The Missouri River threatening to get over the levees and the embankments put up against the big flood in a little town called Hamburg, Iowa. And it's really scary times. 2-1 to Casey. They're not holding Barajas. And a towering fly ball. Well, Renteria's gone back out, but now he's going to get away. Crowd giving it that go get it, Edgar. So Blake flies to left field, but instead of 2 out, there's only 1. And the batter will be Gordon. Edgar Renteria, the boy from Barranquilla. We told you a little bit about him. Coming from abject poverty, has always been a very solid, quiet ball player. He's a Gold Glove shortstop. Edgar signed as a baby, 15 years old. Foul back. In fact, when the Marlins signed Edgar Renteria, he was 15, but when he signed, they actually forged his birth certificate to make him a little older. It was against the rules in those days to sign a Latin American player at 15. Well, base hit, so the Dodgers have D. Gordon continuing his electrifying play. D comes up with his 2nd hit. Runners at 1st and 2nd, 1 out, and Jamie Carroll the batter. Carroll popped up and hit into a double play. When Jamie grounded into the double play in the 2nd inning, it's only the 2nd ground ball double play he's hit into this year. However, 1 out because of Renderia's play on the fly ball. And the Dodgers 2 on and a strike to Carroll. 7 runs, 9 hits for Cincinnati, 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Oh and 1. 0 and 2. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. $80 pitches now made by Travis Wood, and as we mentioned at the very start of the game, they've always wondered about whether he is strong enough to pitch late into a game. And good fastball, perfect spot, and down goes Jamie. So the inning should be over, but it's not. And Andre Ethier coming up. Don't forget the 16 greatest moments in Major League Baseball All-Star Game history are going head to head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. So you can go to MLB.com/moments and vote for your favorite Midsummer Classics, and then tune in to this year's MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 12th, 5 o'clock on Fox. Find out who won and then take in the ball game. Ethier doubled in the first inning, got a breaking ball away and just with it into left center field. And then last time up, hit right on the numbers on their first pitch. 1 ball and no strikes to Andre. 2 on, 2 out. Inning should be over, but the Dodgers got a break. That's off again. 2-0 the count. Of course, the Reds know all about blowing a big lead. They led the Dodgers 7-3 in Cincinnati, and the Dodgers came back to beat them. That was the game featuring, among other things, the grand slam by Matt Kemp. 2-0. Fastball strike. For Cincinnati, they came into the game 2.5 behind Milwaukee. The Cardinals are struggling. They've lost 4 in a row. Milwaukee has lost 2 in a row. 2-1. Ball 3, and on deck is Matt Kemp. So 3-1 to Andre Ethier, 2 on, 2 out. 4th inning, 7-1 Reds. Fastball on the corner. Well, if you're Ethier, you've got to say to yourself, a 3-1 count, and Matt Kemp is hitting back of me. He's going to come fastball, and he just hit it in a perfect spot. You'd expect another one. Runners go. Fastball hit in the air to left field. Coming up is Johnny Gomes to make a second good catch out there. And the Dodgers come up empty. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. And at the end of 4, 7-1 Cincinnati. Dusty Baker is one of 6 managers to win division titles with 3 teams. Who are the others? Dusty, of course, managed with the Giants. Then he managed the Cubs, and then he managed Cincinnati. He was also the hitting coach for San Francisco, and of course, he was a great Dodger. And he's 62 today. That would send along congratulations to Brett Butler, who's 54, Wade Boggs, 53, Andy Pettit, 39, Tim Lincecum, 27 today, and Josh Lindblom standing out there on the mound, 24 years old. For the Dodgers, there has to be some concern about Chad Billingsley. I mean, Billingsley, a fine pitcher, break even 5-5, has been so effective at home. We mentioned his earned run average here this year was 1.7, and in the daylight, Chad's earned run average under 3. However, the point of concern for Billingsley, in his last 20 2/3 innings, he has given up 41 hits. Well, that's certainly not like him. The difference continues in the series and in today's game. With runners in scoring position, the Reds are 4 for 10. The Dodgers 0 for 6. So Lindblom now will start the inning facing Fred Lewis with a strike. On 1. Check for a strike. Fred Lewis doubled in the 2nd inning. Drove in 2. Last time up walked. So Fred 1 for 1. Hitting .247. One and 2 the count. Josh Lindblom pitched at Chattanooga, went to school at Purdue University. He was a 2nd round pick by the Dodgers back in 2008. And whack down the line, a 1-hopper up into the stands, ground rule double. So Fred Lewis has really found his stroke as he doubles to right. 2 doubles and a walk for him. Let's add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4 doubles for the Reds. So Lewis at 2nd, nobody out. Lindblom is welcome to the club. 10 hits now for the Reds. Ryan Hannigan, the catcher, has walked and singled. The pitcher, Travis Wood, is 0 for 1, and Chris Heisey, the leadoff man, is 0 for 3. Everybody else in the Reds lineup with at least 1 hit, and Rolen has 3. Right. Dodger bullpen really worn out. There's nothing like playing 4 straight games at Coors Field in Denver. That will wear down any staff. 0-1. And that's going to be hit at Jamie Carroll. So 1 away, and Travis Wood coming up. Looking back just to illustrate the point in the recent series in Colorado. Series opened with Clayton Kershaw, and the Dodgers, including Kershaw, used 5 pitchers. The next game 3, so that's 8. The next game 6, that's 14. The next game 5, that's 19. It will be whom? Uribe juggles and holds on to it. So Wood swings away, pops it up. Uribe makes the catch. Barajas getting out of the way, figuring that third baseman had a better angle, but he almost dropped it. 2 down. Lewis, who opened up with a double, is still out there. And now here is Chris Heisey. For Heisey, flied to right, leading off the game. He struck out with runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 2nd inning. He struck out with runners at first and second in the third inning. And that gets away from Barajas. Over to third goes Lewis, and what I assume will be a pass ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And pass ball it is. So for Heisey, he's had his 4th opportunity at the plate and his 3rd chance to drive in a run. He has 5 home runs, 22 runs batted in, hitting .277. 1-0. 2-0. Dodgers won 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati, including the game where they trail 7-2. Reds have won 2 straight here, trying for a sweep. 2-0. Heisey 0 for 3 today. He had a double last night. That would make him 1 for 7. And he had a single and a home run in the first game. 2 balls, 1 strike. And a foul behind the plate. No chance for Barajas. For Lindblom, pitching with a runner at third. He has 1 wild pitch. Heisey up there. Lewis coming down the line from third. 2 out. Very light breeze, barely a zephyr blowing out to right field. And just blew him away. So Heisey strikes out 3 times, fails to advance a runner. Rough day for him. However, it's been a rougher day for the Dodgers. 7-1 Cincinnati. Made 12 pitches to get the side out in the 5th inning. The left-hander Travis Wood will be facing Kemp, Uribe, and Thames, and he's made 87 pitches going into the 5th inning. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Reds, 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers, and here's Kemp. Ball 1. Matt was walked intentionally on the heels of a double by Ethier in the first inning. And then last time up, after Ethier was hit by a pitch, he struck out. 1 ball and no strikes. Way off the plate. 2-0. The one thing for Travis Wood, he has walked 4 and hit a batter. 2-0. Fastball, and he straightened that one out. So Kemp all over the fastball for a leadoff single with a 2-0 count. He had to be looking for that. Well, remember the trivia question? It had to do with Johnny Dusty Baker, one of 6 managers to win division titles with 3 teams. Who are the others? Davey Johnson, who of course was here, Tony La Russa, Billy Martin, Lou Piniella, and Joe Torre. Dusty Baker, by the way, last year led the Reds to just their 3rd division title in the last 30 years. And for Cincinnati, what Dusty did, he broke a streak of 9 consecutive losing seasons as well. So Dusty turned them around, and he joins his select group. 1 ball and no strikes. Kemp drawing a throw. You wouldn't think that Matt would try to steal with the Dodgers down 7-1. He has stolen 16 out of 19. Then again, a ball player like Kemp with a giant role with a team might try to steal just to shake them up. 2-0 to Uribe. Dusty, I'm sure, is sweating out the left-hander, trying to give him a win, but he has to go 5, and here he is in the 5th. And Uribe whacks it to left. However, going back is Gomes to make the catch. So Uribe hits it hard, long, out. 1 away. Marcus Thames walked in the 1st inning and fly deep to right in the 3rd. Marcus Thames, a veteran out of Louisville, that is Louisville, Mississippi, and a strike. Marcus, born in Louisville, the 3rd of 5 children. 0-1. Off the plate. Thames originally signed by the Yankees in 1996 out of Community East Central College. Hopper to short, backhanded, dropped by Renteria. They get 1. Back to first. They get the 2. So for the Dodgers, no runs, a hit, nobody left, and at the end of 5, 7-1 Reds. The Dodgers are in Atlanta. It's the first inning. The Braves have runners at first and second. Marcus Grissom is at second. Mark Lemke's at first. The batter is Chipper Jones. The count goes to 3-2. The runners take off, and Chipper hits a little blooper into shallow left field. Juan Castro over the shoulder catch for an out. Throws back to Delino DeShields to double up Marcus Grissom. Delino fires to Eric Karras. They triple up Mark Lemke. That's right, a Dodger triple play. First one that they pulled off since 1949. And with all of that, let's go back to this one. Reds having a red letter day so far, leading 7-1. Renteria, Votto, and Phillips in that order against Josh Lindblom. Big swing and a miss for Edgar. Walk, single, grounded to short. And of course, last year played a big part in helping the Giants go all the way. 1-1 the count. He hit .276 for the Giants last year. Interesting connection. You know the veteran shortstop Orlando Cabrera. That's lifted into shallow right center. Ethier and Kemp. And it's Kemp. Anyway, Renteria met Orlando Cabrera in a youth tournament when he was about 11 years old. And interestingly enough, he was recommended to the Marlins by Orlando Cabrera's father, who happened to be a scout in Colombia for the Marlins. So his dad played a part. Orlando Cabrera's father. Here's Votto, struck out, single and walked. We're in the sixth. 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Reds. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. And a fly ball to left field. Coming over for it, Marcus Thames. And a couple of lazy fly balls, and we have 2 out. Say, follow the Dodgers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and a lot more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. So here is Brandon Phillips. Single to right, flied to right, grounded to second, so he's gone the other way, all 3. Fouled away. 0-1 to Brandon. Phillips hitting .283, 5 home runs, 36 runs batted in. We mentioned the story the other night. He was, I guess maybe 3.5, and his mom and dad gave him a little wiffle ball and a plastic bat. And what did Brandon do? He threw the ball at his dad, hit his mom with the bat, and then ran. He said, I think that's how I became a baseball player, having a good swing by hitting people with the wiffle ball bat. 1-2 the count. Brandon, he had the reputation, I guess, of being somewhat of a hot dog, but what it really translated, he just loves to play, and he likes to have a good time. In fact, the first home run that he ever hit, his mom and dad were there back in 2003, and he admits running the bases, he was thinking, wow, I hope I look good. Well, why not? Just did foul that thing away. 1-2 to Brandon Phillips. Brandon will be 30 the end of next month. Playing in the big leagues since he broke in with the Indians 2002. He was originally signed by Montreal. 2007, he had 32 stolen bases, but he grounded into 26 double plays. first in the league. He has 11 so far this year. 2-2 the count. Josh Lindblom has gotten Renteria and Votto on fly balls. 2-2. Brandon Phillips has been around long enough to pick up a bunch of nicknames. He's been called He-Man, Be Real, Kool-Aid. Friends call him All Day because all day he keeps to be talking. Because another nickname they give talkative guys is 7-Eleven. Foul back. Why 7-Eleven? Because it's open 24 hours a day. Meaning his mouth. Brandon Phillips. By the day, 2 years ago, Memorial Day, Brandon Phillips Field was open in the Cincinnati neighborhood, a few miles from downtown. That was a nice honor for sure. He donated about $33,000 to the project. The entire project to build that field cost about $65,000. And of course, a lot of sweat from hardworking volunteers. He's a good story. Brandon Phillips. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 6th inning. 7-1 Reds. And another foul ball. When Phillips hits a home run, not that he has that many, he has 5, but when he does hit a home run, when he comes around third base, he salutes as if he's saluting Mark Berry, but as he said, I'm saluting all the troops serving the country. Third base coach said, oh, that's fine, that's nice. Ball 3. Reminds me of when Gil Hodges would hit a home run in Brooklyn. He would always, as he was stepping on home plate, blow a kiss to his wife. Meanwhile, Phillips has had 10 pitches. He's fouled off 6, and the count's 3-2. Lindblom at 6'5", 240, and a fly ball to Ethier. So 1, 2, 3 equal opportunities. A fly ball to left, a fly ball to center, a fly ball to right. And at the end of 5 1/2, 7-1 Reds. Inning, the Dodgers had Ethier, who had hit by a pitch in the second. At first was Uribe, and a diving catch by Johnny Gomes on a ball hit by James Loney saved 2 runs. And of course, leaving his feet, Loney probably would have wound up at third if Johnny didn't catch it. So it was a big play, and the Reds moving out in front then with 4 in the third, 1 more in the fourth, and they lead 7-1. It is throwback day, so The Dodgers are wearing the uniforms from the 40s. The Reds are wearing uniforms from the 40s. And since there's not much going on, we can at least have a little chat. That's ball one. If you go back a couple of years beyond the 40s, you get to this date in 1938. And the Dodgers and the Reds played. Two real historic things happened. Number one, it was a night game. That's a fly ball to the gap. It's slicing, coming over to Gomes. One away. So not only was it the first night game before 38,000 at Ebbets Field, but it was also the night that Johnny Vandermeer became the first pitcher to hurl no-hitters in consecutive starts. In that no-hitter in Brooklyn, Leo DeRocher was the shortstop. He made the last out. He had a fly ball to center field with the bases loaded. And then about 3 weeks later, Vandermeer got his knocks. He got a start in the All-Star game at Crosley Field. And you can imagine the people in Cincinnati saluting him coming off a no-hitter. And he pitched against people like Charlie Gehringer, Earl Averill, Jimmy Fox, Joe DiMaggio, Bill Dickey, Lou Gehrig. What'd he do? He pitched 3 shutout innings in that game. 1-1. The National League won that game 4-1 thanks to Leo DeRocher's dash around the bases after a bunt. And there were errors, believe it or not, by Jimmy Fox and Joe DiMaggio. Tony Gwynn out on deck. Ball 2. And by the way, in talking about those games, Leo went 0 for 4, batting 8th. Other Dodgers in the lineup: Kiki Kyler, Dolph Camilli, Cookie Lavagetto. Vandermeer was very wild. He walked 8 men when he pitched that no-hitter under the lights at Ebbets Field. And of course, Vandermeer's back-to-back no-hitters came in his first full year. What a way to break in with the Cincinnati Reds in 1938. His first no-hitter was against the Boston Braves at home at Crosley, and the second 4 days later at Ebbets Field. Another foul ball. In 1952, Johnny Vandermeer had concluded his big league career, and wouldn't you know, he went to the Texas League and he pitched a no-hitter for Tulsa. All of that happened way back in 1938, and the story concluded on Vandermeer in 1952. Ball 3. Meanwhile, you know, Justin Verlander pitched in Detroit the other night. He's already had 1 no-hitter at Toronto, and he held the Royals for 5 2/3. Then his possible no-hitter was broken up, and he wound up pitching a 2-hitter over 8 innings. Verlander and the Tigers will be here on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of June. So a lot going on in the past, not much going on here. 1 out, 6th inning. It's 7-1 Reds. Barajas gets the walk, and Tony Gwynn coming up to bat for Lindblom. So Gwynn hitting .222, 6 runs batted in. Dodgers used Casey Blake. He flied to left field in the 4th inning. And a strike. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Matt Guerrier. 7-1 in favor of the Reds. Trying to do something, sweep the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium in a 3-game series for the first time since 2004. Another strike. Jose Arredondo gets up in the Cincinnati bullpen. As we mentioned, the Reds always talk about whether the young left-hander has the endurance. Well, he's gone 5 1/3. 1-2. He's also made 103 pitches as he stands out there on the mound. Reds have 7 runs, 10 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits. 1-2. Fastball. Well, Tony is still there. Crowd reacting to a scramble. One ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Barajas at first. They're not holding. And the pitch to Gwynn. 2-2. Pitch count really piling up now on Travis Wood. Two and two to Gwynn. Fastball fouled away. Tony with 6 runs batted in, no home runs. Left-hand hitter runs well, has not grounded into a double play, but look at the pitch count now. 111 for a guy whose stamina is questioned, and he's only in the 6th inning. He had a very bad first inning, not that he gave up a run, but he made 30 pitches in the first inning. Breaking ball hit foul. Took a lot off that. That was a change off the curve. Still 2-2. Gwynn with Gordon on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Fastball, a 1-hopper to second for 1. Not in time at first, so Tony still has not grounded into a double play. So 2 down, and D. Gordon will be coming up.
For the Dodgers, shortstop, number 9, D. Gordon.
So the force plays 6-4. Gordon reached on an error and then singled twice. So Gordon, as he checks in, batting .353. Interesting contrast in the game. When Chad Billingsley was in there, he was only in there for 4 innings. He gave up 7 runs, 9 hits, and invariably was either ahead in the count or even. Ground ball to Phillips. How do you do? I'm surprised he made that play because he was screened out a little bit by Sam Holbrook. So the Dodgers go down in the 6th, and at the end of 6, 7-1 Reds. dugout. They're leading 7-1, but Brian Price is talking to the left-handed Travis Wood. It had a lot to do with his delivery and certainly about his left elbow. Travis has made 114 pitches, but he looks like he's going to go back out there again. Arredondo stopped warming up in the bullpen, and we get to the 7th. Matt Guerrier will be pitching to Scott Rowland, Johnny Gomes, and Fred Lewis. Strike. Rowland's had a big day. Doubled, singled, and doubled again, and Guerrier with a record of 2-3. Joey Votto took him downtown in the first game. 1 ball and 1 strike. We were talking about the difference between Chad Billingsley and Travis Wood, and the difference is not just left and right, but as far as the pitches are concerned and the count. Fly ball. Ethier coming up to get it, though they finally get rolling 1 away. If you remember, we were talking to you about Billingsley, who was either ahead of the count or even, and gave up 9 hits and 7 runs. Travis Wood has been behind the hitter to more than half of the 27 batters that he has faced, and yet he's leading 7-1. All 10 Cincinnati hits, the pitcher has either been ahead or even in the count. So it's kind of a puzzling game. Or in The King and I, when the King said it's a puzzlement, that could be baseball as well. Because they're always telling you you've got to be the first pitch for a strike, stay ahead of the count. Line drive out to left field. Marcus Thames handling that one. So 2 out here in the 7th inning. As far as the Reds box score, the first thing you see, the pitcher's without a hit, and the leadoff man is hitless, but everybody else has had some fun, and especially Scott Rowland. 2 doubles, a single, 3 RBIs, and Fred Lewis. 2 for 2 as a starter, both doubles, 2 RBIs. Fred had a pinch hit last night, and he was hit by a pitch the game before. 1 ball and no strikes to Fred Lewis. And now Arredondo gets up in the pen, so we will see about Travis Wood. After making 114 pitches, I would doubt he'd be going back out to the mound. 7-1 Reds. 7th inning when the Dodgers bat. Jamie Carroll, Andre Ethier, and Matt Kemp. 2-0. Strike. 2-1. The boy from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Two and two. Fred Lewis staying 6'2", 200-pounder. Sloping shoulders, long neck. 2nd round pick by the Giants out of Southern University. And on the corner, down he goes. A 1-2-3 inning for the 2nd time in a row. In fact, 9 Reds have been retired in a row, but they lead 7-1. Wood back out after 114 pitches. So Jose Arredondo from the Dominican Republic and Jay Bruce will enter the game at the same time. Bruce going into right field for Fred Lewis. And since the Reds lost a big lead to the Dodgers in Cincinnati, Dusty has not taken any chances. So Arredondo will go into Lewis' spot, and Jay Bruce will bat ninth. For the Dodgers, trying somehow to scramble back, Carroll, Ethier, and Kemp. So Travis Wood went 6 innings, allowed 1 run, 5 hits, walked 4, hit a batter, and made 114 pitches. That's ball 1. Jamie Carroll popped up, grounded into a double play, and struck out. Fastball flared to right. Bruce coming up, but it's going to land in front of him. So Jamie Carroll, pop fly single to right, and the batter will be Andre Ethier. In looking at the Dodgers going head to head with Arredondo, Carroll with that flare single is 3 for 3 against him. Andre Ethier is 0 for 2. Matt Kemp is 2 for 4. Jose Arredondo, 27 years old, an even 6, about 175. That's ball 1. For Arredondo, he comes in 0-2, an ERA of 3.5, 16 games. He's only pitched 12 innings. And behind 2-0 now. Andre Ethier doubled to left center, hit a breaking ball down and away and just went with it. Hit by a pitch in the 3rd, flied to left in the 4th, and this time skies one to the right side. Brandon Phillips makes the play. So Ethier pops it up. He's 1 for 3, and the batter is Matt Kemp. Matt has been walked intentionally, struck out, and single to center. Arredondo, interestingly enough, and the game is certainly played between the ears, in each of his last 3 appearances, he walked the first batter. Though he wasn't going to walk Carroll, and Jamie with 2 strikes, single to right field. And a drive to left center on his horse, and right at the track, playing it off the wall, is Johnny Gomes. Stopping at 3rd is Carroll, as Kemp misses hitting it out, but puts the Dodgers in scoring position. So Arredondo got Ethier. Kemp doubles Carroll to 3rd, and the batter will be Uribe. Uribe today walked twice, flied to left. All of those at-bats were against the left-hander. Arredondo on May came off the disabled list. He was on the DL recovering from Tommy John surgery in February of last year. Second and third, 1 out. Francisco Cordero saved the first 2 games of the series. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Reds. 1 run, 7 hits for the Dodgers. In the dirt. Nice save by Hannigan. By the way, the Reds have stopped hitting. I mean, they had 9 hits and 7 runs against Billingsley in 4 innings. Since then, since the leadoff double by Lewis, 9 in a row have been retired. Infield swung way around at third base. 2-0. Well, they're expecting Ethier to do what he did. He pulled and popped it up. They're expecting Uribe to pull, so the infield swung so that Votto way off first base. 2-0. Typical hard swing by Uribe. 2-1 the count. Down the line from third comes Carroll. Out at second base, Matt Kemp. One away, seventh inning, 7-1 Reds. Ground ball to short. The run will score. The out at first with the ball hit ahead of him. Kemp had nowhere to go. So that makes it Reds 7, Dodgers 2. And with 2 out, Marcus Thames coming up.
Left fielder, Marcus Thames.
So Carroll brings it home. Uribe picks up the run batted in. Thames checking in. Marcus walk, flied to right. Hit into a double play. Run batted in. Strike. Marcus, he's just off the DL. Arredondo off the DL. They go head to head. 0-1 the count. And a drive into left center, but moving over is Heisey to pick it off. And that's it. Seventh inning, the Dodgers get 1 run, 2 hits, leave 1. And at the end of 7, it's 7-2 Cincinnati. Over 2 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 more to open it up 7-1. Dodgers came back with 1, and we move to the 8th inning. It's been Billingsley, Lindblom, Guerrier, and now Guerra, and the Reds with Wood and Arredondo. So Javi Guerra coming into his 12th game, ERA of 3. Oh, both relievers can hold their careers in check because of the wizardry of Dr. Frank Jobe. Arredondo had Tommy John surgery. So did Javi Guerra. Guerra's out of Denton, Texas. Dodgers signed him about 7 years ago, 4th round. Javi will be working against Ryan Hannigan. Jay Bruce is batting 9th, and then Crick Heisey. 7-2 Reds in the 8th. Hannigan has walked, single, popped up. Ball 1. Hannigan had a base hit against Guerra in Cincinnati, so he's 1 for 1. Ryan batting .262. And ball 2, 2-0. Two and one. Hannigan in March signed a 3-year contract extension, so he'll be playing with the Reds through 2013. And he promptly muscles one into center. So Hannigan comes up with his second hit. He goes 2 for 3 with a walk. For the Reds, that would be their first hit since Lewis opened up the 5th inning with a double. So Hannigan at first, and here is Jay Bruce. Bruce, the left-hand hitting right fielder, last night went 0 for 3 with a walk. In the first game, he was 0 for 3 with a walk. So 0 for 6, 2 walks in the series, and batting .283. 17 home runs. But the last came June 1. So it's been over 2 weeks. Ball 1. The other thing about Jay and his 17 home runs, not that it's his fault, but 11 of the 17 have come in games that the Reds lost. 1 ball and no strikes. Off the plate, 2-0 the count. When the season just started, the season was about 4 days old, and Jay Bruce became 24 years old. Since August of last year, he's hit 32 home runs. And ball 3. And in this kind of a game, leading 7-2, you have a young home run hitter at the plate. Dusty might greenlight him, but we'll see whether that means he's going to swing. He has 85 career home runs. High strike at the letters, 3-1. Bruce with the home runs, but he's paying the price. He is 0 for his last 12 at bats. 3-1 to Jay. 3-2. So Jay Bruce finishing up the game in right field, batting 9th. First round pick by the Reds 7 years ago. He's out of Beaumont, Texas. 6'2", 215. 3-2. And strike 3 called. So down goes Bruce. Hannigan standing at first with 1 out, and the batter will be Chris Heisey. Well, Heisey can tell you all about striking out today. After flying to right in the first inning, Chris struck out in the second with runners at second and third, struck out in the third with runners at first and second, and for good measure, struck out in the 5th with a runner at third. 0-1. So Heisey has really been struggling. If he comes up with a base hit at any time, they get a bunch more runs. Heisey has been very, very successful for the Reds in coming off the bench. And he lines this one. Kemp moving over to pick it off. So Heisey really hits the ball hard. Looked like a 2-iron when it left home plate. And we have 2 down. And the veteran Edgar Renteria coming up. Renteria walked, singled, scored a run, grounded out, fly to center, committed an error. The error typically of Renteria was just over hustle on a fly ball to center. Edgar hitting .234, 11 runs batted in, takes all the way, and the count 0-1. Renteria with no home runs, but that's no surprise. The years are starting to get him. If you go way back to the Cardinals, he hit 16 home runs. That would be 11 years ago. 2 years ago with the Giants, he hit 5. Last year with the Giants, he hit 3. 1-2 the count. We have the paid attendance today. Been a lovely summer afternoon despite the June gloom early in the morning. And we've had 30,443 taken in the game. 1-2. Don't forget tomorrow an off day, and then Friday night the Houston Astros. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Ted Lilly Friday night, Ruby De La Rosa Saturday night, Hiroki Kuroda Sunday afternoon, and that's popped up. Jamie Carroll backing out, and that'll be that. So Javi Guerra comes in, gives up a leadoff hit and nothing else, and we're heading to the bottom of the 8th, 7-2 Cincinnati. Highlight defensively, certainly today. It occurred in the 3rd inning. Dodgers had 2 on, 2 out, and a great diving catch by Johnny Gomes on a ball hit by James Loney. It would have scored 2, and who knows if he doesn't make that play how many the Dodgers score. Well, it's now 7-2. It would have been at least 7-4 or even 7-5 if Johnny didn't make that play. Well, we were talking about Jose Arredondo. He was fresh off Tommy John surgery. He gives way to Bill Bray, who had Tommy John surgery, after Javi Guerra pitched for the Dodgers, who had Tommy John surgery. Bray, 6'3", 220, out of Virginia, but lives in Texas. Went to William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. And a strike to James Loney. Bray was an all-time saves leader at William and Mary. Big left-hander. He will be, or just turned, in fact, 28 years old. Bray was originally a first-round pick by the Montreal Expos. Fastball lifted to shallow left. In fact, Renteria is right there. So 1 away as Loney flies to short. Don't forget Sunday, join us for Father's Day, presented by Farmer John, and all fans receive a barbecue apron and dads and their families invited onto the field following the game to play catch. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. So one away here in the 8th inning, and here's Rod Barajas, and if you were watching carefully, that was Rod Barajas serving a barbecue on the videotape. Ball 1 to Rod. Popped up, reached on an error, and walked. The book on Bray, and I'm sure it's been read by Barajas: fastball, tight slider, and a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Ball 2. Fastball has been clocked between 90 and 95. Signed this year for a 1-year deal. Reds made a deal with the Washington Nationals to get Bray about 5 years ago. And they traded away a pretty good player. In fact, when he played here, we thought he was going to be a very good player. Austin Kearns. Bray last year stopped left-hand hitters. They hit 106 against him. Right-handers roughed him up a little bit, 271. He's had back problems, the dreaded bulging disc. 2-2. And a towering foul ball. Late start by Hannigan, but no play anyway. 2-2. See that foul ball come down? One of the nicest men you ever met is a Dodger scout named Carl Lowenstein. I mean, he's a saint. He is just a beautiful person. And he was scouting a minor league game just the other day. One of those high foul balls like that hit him right on the head. They had to help him out of the ballpark, but I think he's okay. 2-2. Another foul ball. So Barajas up there hacking away. Rod hitting .223, 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Bill Bray had the Tommy John surgery in May of 2009. So that'll do it for Barajas. 2 out here in the 8th inning. Aaron Miles will now come up and bat for Javi Guerra.
Aaron Miles.
Dodgers have used Casey Blake, Tony Gwynn, and now Miles. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ramon Troncoso begins to warm up. Aaron Miles, switch hitter, batting right-handed, as you can see, hitting .299 and a strike. Aaron is hitting .425 from this side of the plate, .265 batting left-handed. Miles, as a pinch hitter, 4 for 8 plus hit by pitch. 0-2 the count. Aaron Miles, 2 down, bases empty. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Reds leading handily 7-2. Bill Bray, as big as he is and impressive looking at 6'3", 220, he has certainly had his physical problems. Let's see, 4 years ago, Bray broke a finger, and trying to pitch while the finger was healing, he then hurt his shoulder. Then they found out he had a hairline fracture of the tip of the index finger. That put him on the DL. Then he had an appendectomy. Then the sore shoulder again. Then went on the DL, sore elbow. Miles, meanwhile, gets a base hit, and that all led to the Tommy John surgery. So with 2 out, Miles comes off the bench for a base hit to right field, and the batter will be D. Gordon. Seven runs and 11 hits for the Reds. Dodgers pick up their 8th hit. Gordon reached on an error, singled twice, hit into a force play. And ball 1. One and 0. Fastball lifted to left center and slicing, and Johnny Gomes makes another fine catch in left field. So D. Gordon losing an extra base hit the way he runs on a great diving catch by Johnny. And just like that, the Dodgers leave 1, and we're heading for the 9th. 7-2 Reds. Seven to 2. The other night, the big blow was hit by Joey Votto. No surprise there, the MVP of last year. He came up in the 7th inning with 2 men on and reached the pavilion in right center field. It was a 4-run inning, and the Reds went on to beat the Dodgers 6-4. When we mentioned that Joey Votto was the MVP last year, if you thumb your way through the Cincinnati book, the National League MVPs from the Cincinnati Reds, tremendous names. Ernie Lombardi, the big catcher in 1938. Bucky Walters, who had been a third baseman, converted to pitcher in 1939. The first baseman, Frank McCormick. And then a 21-year gap, and Frank Robinson came along in 1961. Johnny Bench had the MVP in 70 and 72. Pete Rose in 73. That's when the big red machine was really moving. You had Rose and Morgan and George Foster and Barry Larkin. And finally, last year, Cincinnati's MVP, Joey Votto. As a Canadian, he is the 3rd to come to the United States and win the award. Colorado's Larry Walker in 1997, and Justin Morneau of Minnesota in 2006. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-1. Votto today struck out, single to right, walked, fly to left. Troncoso gets it in there. Ramon Troncoso up and down with the Dodgers, trying to find that great sinker that he had a couple of years ago. Ball 3. Votto followed by Phillips, followed by Rowland. Joe, you'll be 28. Chased and missed. Barras has to go back to get it. The throw on a bounce is in time to get him. So a pretty good effort by Rod Barajas, wearing all that gear to lumber back and get it, and he was still able to get Votto at first base. So one away in the 9th inning, and the batter Brandon Phillips. That's a lot of effort for a catcher with all that gear on him, and he got it down to Loney plenty of time. So a nice play by Rod, 1 out. Nice play by Loney at the other end. Bouncer up the middle, behind the bag, backhanded by Carroll, who gets him. Nice play by Jamie. So that play by Jamie Carroll, holding the Reds so far to 1 hit in the last 4 innings, 2 hits in the last 5 innings, but they did all their hitting in the first couple of innings. We lead 7-2. So here's Scott Rowland. Double, single, double, fly to right. Foul back. Rowland with 8 Gold Gloves. As we have said, an outstanding player. And for that matter, an outstanding human being. He's 6'4", 240. Turned 36 in April. No balls and 1 strike. Good breaking ball, 0-2. When the Dodgers come up in the 9th inning, Jamie Carroll, Andre Ethier, and Matt Kemp. Reds scored 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, and another in the 4th, and that's it. They have been very quiet, but they've done their damage so far. Check swing. Down goes Rowland. 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of the top of the 9th inning, it's 7-2 Cincinnati. have used 5 pitches, and the Reds will use their 4th. So it's been Travis Wood and then Jose Arredondo, followed by Bill Bray, and now Nick Massett. For the Dodgers, beginning the day, 7 games under 500 and 8 games behind San Francisco. It's been another long, bitter afternoon up to now. Nick Massett, a St. Petersburg boy who lives in the San Francisco area, went to St. Petersburg Community College, was originally an 8th-round pick by the Rangers. In the Dodger history book, however, Nick Massett's name is written in. Remember the dramatic night, Manny Ramirez on Ramirez bobblehead night, bases loaded, Manny is a pinch hitter, and he hit a grand slam home run into the seats and left? You can bet Nick Massett will never forget. He was the pitcher. He'll be facing Jamie Carroll, and ball 1. And 2-0 the count. Massett is a big man and was even bigger. He's 6'4" and about 220. About 3 years ago, before spring training, he took off 25 pounds. And he's behind now 3-0 to Jamie Carroll. Came up to the Rangers in 06. Played with the White Sox for a couple of years. This is his 4th year with the Reds. And leading 7-2, he walks the first man he faces, which of course will not please anybody, especially his manager and the pitching coach.
Right fielder, number 16, Andre.
And the batter will be Andre Ethier. Ethier doubled, hit by a pitch, fly to left and popped up. So Dusty Baker is hoping to celebrate his 62nd birthday today. And the Dodgers trying to see if they can't make life a little miserable for him. And ball 1. You may remember, if you were with us then, the first inning. Travis Wood walked 3 in the first inning, 1 of them intentionally granted. He wound up walking 4 and hitting a batter. And now Brian Price gone out there and if to say, hey, what's going on? You're leading by 5 runs. So the pitching coach talking to Big Nick. Last year with the Reds, his strikeout to walk ratio was better than 2-1, almost 3-1. The year before it was 3-1. So he's a little bit off form. Has a good sinking fastball and a 4-seamer. He has a curveball. He has a slider. A lot of people call his slider a cutter. 1-1 the count to Andre Ethier. He also has a changeup. So Nick Massett, big and strong, 29 years old. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he's behind 2-1. Massett, born and raised in St. Petersburg, so he certainly likes the water. He spends a lot of time fishing. 2-2. He once, he said, caught a 6-foot sailfish in Mexico. That'd be the biggest one he's ever fought. He really goes out there looking for grouper and red snapper and snook, redfish, stuff like that. So the fisherman is out there, Nick Massett. 2-2. And there's a switch. Ethier goes fishing, and he strikes out. So 1 away here in the 9th inning.
Matt Kemp.
The batter will be Matt Kemp. Kemp was walked intentionally by Travis Wood in the first inning. Since then, struck out, singled, and doubled. His double set up Carroll at third. Jamie scored on a ground ball by Uribe. That made it 7-2 Cincinnati. And a strike. 0-1. Looking at Nick Massett and his work against the Dodgers. Ethier now by striking out 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts against him. Kemp 1 for 2 with a home run. One ball and 1 strike. Don't forget, off day tomorrow, Friday night, the Astros. One and two. Friday night, Ted Lilly. Saturday night, Ruby De La Rosa. And then Sunday afternoon, Hiroki Kuroda. After the Astros for the weekend, the Tigers of Detroit will be in starting Monday night. And the following weekend, the Angels will be here. 1-2 to Matt Kemp. 2-2. 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Reds. Dodgers getting some base hits, but that's about it. 2 runs, 8 hits. Dodgers coming into this game, 2-game losing streak. The Reds winning 2 at the expense of the Dodgers. Foul back. Juan Uribe hitting back of Kemp. For Dusty Baker on his 62nd birthday, he's trying to do something that the Reds have not done in 7 years. Come here and sweep a 3-game series. Dusty took over the Reds in 2008. Breaking ball, grounded to Rowland, down to Phillips, back to first, in time. So Matt Kemp finishes up by grounding into a double play. Now, why they're all standing around out there, let's look at what's going on at second base. Wait a minute. It looked like the game was over. Let's take another look at that play. It's going to be a ground ball to Rowland and the throw down to Brandon. All right, watch the foot. It's on the bag. It comes off the bag. That's the old neighborhood play. Only the second base umpire, Sam Holbrook, would not go for the old neighborhood play. Brandon Phillips would be wrong, dead wrong, even loud wrong should he argue on that. So it was a very good call by umpire Sam Holbrook. The game is not over. And here is Uribe. Carroll at second base. So Kemp is out, 5-4-3. And ball 1 to Uribe, who has walked twice, flied to left, grounded to short. 7-2 in favor of the Reds. 9th inning. And a ground ball to the left of Renteria. Nice pick. Throws on the run to get him. And now the game is over. For Dusty Baker, happy birthday. And the Reds sweep the Dodgers for the first time here at Dodger Stadium since 2004. 2004, Dusty Baker was the manager of the Chicago Cubs. 7-11 with 2 errors for the Reds, 2 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, who have now lost 3 in a row. And a reminder, tomorrow an off day, Friday night, Houston. Stay tuned now for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good afternoon, everybody.